Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Goffstown Sewer Commission meeting. This is our regular scheduled meeting. Start with introductions with our selectmen's rep.
Jim Craig, Select Rep.
Michael Trank, Consulting Engineer.
Tim Redmond.
Dave Pierce.
Lynn Pooler, Sewer Secretary.
Corey White, Sewer Foreman.
Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. As always, we start our meeting with public comment, so at this time, if anyone has public comment, please step up to the table and we'll be glad to hear from you. Since no one's here, we'll move on. We'll close the public comment period.
Would you like to delay the minutes?
I think that's an excellent idea. We'll delay minutes. We have nothing under new business, so we'll go straight to old business. Elm Street Pump Station Improvements Update. Excuse me, I'll turn it over to Mike.
Elm Street, right now, the contractor is just waiting to get a date scheduled with the Gorman sales representative for startup and testing of the pumping equipment and the control panels and everything. So as soon as he gets that, he's going to let me know. And once that's started up and tested, I think they should be in a position to send a letter asking for substantial completion.
Thank you. Any questions for Mike?
Corey, do you participate in the testing of those pumps?
I'll be there.
Thank you.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Are they all new? Everything new?
Everything's, well, the
The
pumps
rotating
themselves aren't
assembly,
new.
yeah.
Yeah, the rotating assemblies.
Casings are the same, but the rotating, internal rotating assemblies.
Supplied by the, by,
Gorman,
yeah, but by the contractor?
by the contractor.
Good. And that is with the new switching equipment, right?
And
Now, is that gonna be on that SCADA system that you have worked on getting the other ones on?
Eventually, yeah, I actually was just talking with AD Instruments about
Getting that one
getting
set online?
everything, the rest.
Good,
The control panel is also new.
good. And then did they have top coat of paving that has to be done yet?
That has to be scheduled as well, and I'm waiting to hear on that.
But otherwise, in your professional opinion, everything has been completed, other than this testing?
Yeah, they're close. Basically substantial completion is where the owner has full use and occupancy or benefit, if you will, of the facility. So, we're pretty close to that.
And that's when our warranty period begins, after we agree to substantial completion?
Correct, 1-year warranty period.
Thank you. Anybody else, sir? Mike? Okay. Before we move on, Daniel, we're just talking about the Elm Street pump station. And Mike informed us that waiting for pump testing and then probably substantial completion request. Do you have any questions on Elm Street pump station that come up in mind? Nope. Okay, good, thank you. Okay, the next one is the Albert Street sewer update, and Mike also?
Albert Sewer, that's in design now. We got the survey and the drawings from the
Excellent.
surveyor, so that design work is in progress.
Any suspected time frame on that, in your professional opinion?
Yeah, as soon as I can get everything drafted, I'm hoping to have that within the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Hopefully we can, this is July, hopefully we can put it out to bid by the end of August, is that? Or do we have a lot of review to do after the?
I don't think there's a lot. No, it doesn't have to go to DES or anything like that. So I'll send it over to you folks, obviously. But
Could we get just a pre-bid letter to some of our folks that know that there's something coming out, or do they already know that we're sending something out shortly?
nothing's been sent out yet.
Well,
so-
maybe we could just, between you and Corey, we could notify some of our contractors that we have something that's in the pipeline and it'll
Sure.
be due soon. And please don't, count us out without knowing that we have something coming.
Yeah.
Hopefully for this season.
Sure, we can do that.
Good, I appreciate that. Any questions for Mike on the Albert Street sewer update? Great. East Union Street, Riverview Park, Mike, and once again?
That design is pretty much complete at this point. All the reviews are done, our side anyways. So I'll get something over to you to look at. We just have a question on the HVAC for the building supplier and as to who's responsible for what.
On
So-
which project? On the
This-
East Union side or on the Riverview side?
Riverview Park.
The Riverview
Yeah,
side.
the precast building. But we're working on that. Otherwise, it's complete. So I'm working with Hoyle Tanner right now on getting a contract, a draft contract together for construction phase services. And I'm also working on a bid form that can be used to solicit bid proposals for the construction work for that.
Would this be a kind of a project that Sherbon would be looking at for us by any chance?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah,
They'd be interested in looking at it? Good.
yeah,
Excellent.
yeah. I'll mention it to Joe.
And we'll have to get some other contractors so we can get a variety of contractors to, we'll find some names.
Yeah, there's several other ones that I've worked with over the years. I can make a couple of calls.
That'd be good. All right. Anybody else have any stuff from the commissioners on that topic, on East Union or Riverview Park? Okay, the next item under old business is Danielle wanted us to discuss the sewer foreman's job description. We've kind of let that get by the way, no insult intended. We're not going to work on that tonight because it's probably fairly in-depth. And we were supposed to have a short meeting to give the room up by a certain time specific, so I instructed Lynn that probably would take that after the next meeting.
Well, what you need to do, I was talking to Danielle, she sent you, gave you guys all a packet with his current job description, one he marked out, and
Is that the one that's
from
right
other
here?
towns. No, I just
That's
gave
the
you
one
that
I
one
marked
that
out.
he gave me, but you guys should all have it from a couple meetings ago. I
Oh, okay.
didn't get it, but I did, Daniel said he has it, so I can make copies tonight or scan it and send it to you guys
That'd be good.
later. But, so you should be looking at it and marking it up before the next meeting.
Okay, good.
And then come in, because we need to get that done, and we also need the job title, because they're looking at the jobs right now and the matrix
And
and.
I'm not on the matrix at all.
Both positions, all three positions are supposed to be on the in the study.
They are, but he doesn't, he has to fill stuff out on it, but we need a job description as to
We-
what he does.
We probably need a more accurate job description so it can be compared to a job that's like it, so that the pays can be commensurate.
In the packets that Danielle gave all of us,
Oh, I have that, yeah.
there's a bunch
you
of
do
different
have that?
cities and
Okay.
towns.
Do you have yours, Dave, so I don't have to scan?
If I
it?
don't, I'll let you know.
What's it look
This
like?
is a prior packet that Danielle gave us with all different job descriptions.
If I don't find it on my computer, I will.
Well, this was hand-delivered to us at a meeting.
Yeah, I don't,
I will look in my paper
In your-
file.
yeah.
My paper file.
Which
I
one
don't
is it?
have a copy, so I don't know
Well,
if you want me to just wait and see if you don't have it, then I'll ask Daniel for it, or.
Yeah.
I've done a bunch of research, actually, not just in our area, but around the country to see what
yeah,
water and sewer job descriptions and job titles.
good. Thank you. Did you submit, is this what you submitted to us?
That's what I submitted.
Okay.
There's more that can be added to that I was picking up on reading all these other job descriptions.
Okay.
And the water and wastewater, I researched the position, and 90% of somebody in my position is titled a superintendent.
Okay, that sounds good. That's fine. You don't want to be the chief?
No,
Okay.
no, people can have too much fun with that one.
Get you some stars for your shoulders?
Yeah. There's already been one chief wife.
Yeah, that's
That
right, there
title.
was a chief white.
A sewer hat.
Yeah.
All right, so has everyone agreed that we will just try to get this on the table for our next meeting and we discuss it at our next meeting? Good. CIP?
That's me. We missed our meeting last week for CIP, but they are going to have another one. So we are scheduled to go July 20th at 6 o'clock down here. And
Yeah.
Corey should be there, and I think Dave said he was going to go.
Wonderful. Great.
Okay, what date?
July 20th.
I don't know, there was 2 dates. They weren't sure which one in that email that I saw.
I just checked with Danielle
Okay.
today, and she said July 20th at 6 o'clock.
And you're presenting the 5-year or 6-year, whatever the
Yeah.
number is for the sewer replacement program?
Yep.
Good. Do we have any other item? And we are going to be looking at what Danielle told us to start looking at for the funding as well. We have to upgrade a sewer system to qualify for the accessibility fees. We can't just replace it in kind. I don't think that's an upgrade. Mike, you spoke differently to that, and we'll let you speak to that when we get to a point where we're going to have that big discussion.
Sure.
All right. We're not ready to start talking about budget season, are we, by any chance?
I was gonna bring that up, I think we should, next meeting,
I think we
can
should
bring
work
some
on our budget
stuff.
sooner this
Yeah,
year.
yeah, we can start doing it.
No, I think we should start on it sooner. If I haven't received, you can supply us at our next meeting possibly with a updated expense report.
Yeah.
Shows what we have used out of our funds and
Yeah.
what is still available to be used in the lines and all.
Yep,
And we should start looking at our budget, I
Yep.
think, sooner.
yep, we can do
We
that. I
should.
can't give you, I'll just have the actuals and
You'll
stuff.
have whatever
for-
you have.
I won't have the salary stuff from
No, we understand that.
them, but yeah, no, I'll get the sheet all prepared and bring that to the next
It
meeting.
may sound early, but I think
No,
budget
it's not,
season's
no.
going to be here
I
before we
think-
know it.
Yep, nope, I agree.
CIP is in gear, which means budget's in gear.
Nope.
To extend this discussion on the budget for next year, 6 months ago, I made presentations about the user fee.
Okay.
Since it's been $400 per treatment unit for, what, you're going on 20 years, perhaps you remember.
No, I don't remember that far back.
One would question, why hasn't this fee increased over the last 20 years? And I made a very rough estimate that if you do not change that fee at all, then our entire bank account hits 0 in 7 years.
That's correct, and I appreciate that.
So, and that study of mine has been off the radar for about 4 months, and I need to put it back on the radar scope, so that if we're in a position of notifying our customers this November, that potentially the fees will increase in 2024.
Right.
You know, I need to get busy again on
There'll
that
be,
study.
we'll actually be hitting them with a double whammy, the outdoor seating, but that's a small contingent of people.
Yeah, very small.
But the rest of them expect a sewer rate increase of some kind. I think your study bears it out, Dave, and I don't see anybody would be able to complain because we have our accessibility fee program, which is a way that the new users are paying ahead, basically,
The big, yeah.
as opposed to continually charging the users for upgrades.
The bottom line for this commission, once I make my presentation, is that in 7 years from now, if you still want to have a reserve of $4 or $5 million rather than 0, then that means that over 7 years, by some scheme, you have to bring in $4 million.
Right.
And so do you front load the fee and jump it up all at once and keep it level for, next 7 or 8 years? Or do you do a little bit this year, a little bit next year? So that's what the commission will need to discuss once I make my presentation.
Okay, and be aware that Manchester has recently announced that they're going to raise their rates like 9% every year for the next,
Yes. That was in,
what, 5 or 6 years?
that was in the union leader.
Right,
Pay
so
$100 a month and looks it.
$100 a month is your sewer fee, as opposed to $400 a year. Okay.
Have you considered moving to Goffstown?
Yeah,
I
really?
moved away from Goffstown.
Just so you can get a lower sewer bill.
Yeah.
Move to Goffstown.
I had a leach field. That's why I like that house.
All right, so I appreciate that, Dave, thank you. We will put that on the agenda for our upcoming meeting, please.
Since you brought up outdoor seating,
Yep.
may I extend that discussion?
Yeah, we weren't going to make it long, but I appreciate whatever you want to start on tonight.
Yes. I did send you a draft letter that potentially could be sent to the facilities that have restaurant dining.
Mm-hmm.
And, to my understanding, there's 20 20 of our customers who have indoor seating.
Okay.
And of course, now there's a subset of that have also outdoor seating.
Okay.
The best Corey and I can come up with is 4 of our customers have outdoor seating.
That's all we really have?
Yeah, so, one could say, are we really worried about 4 customers? But that's,
That seems small, because I thought I could almost count 4 right in the village.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 here.
Putnam.
Putnam's,
Trestle.
the Trestle. You
Yeah.
have,
Vixter's has outdoor seating now, the old
Yeah.
Vixter's. They have 2 picnic tables out front, but I don't know if you classify that as outdoor.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think you would.
and most the only other one that comes to mind right
So,
now
yes,
Sawyer.
is the brewery.
when I said 4, Trestle, Putnam's,
Sawyer's does it on Sundays. They have
Yeah.
seating out,
Yeah.
out fresco dining on Sundays.
Vixter's on the sidewalk. So, and then Mountain Base Brewery, they, I counted,
Is that in Pinardville, Dave, in the Shaw's Plaza?
it's
Yeah.
behind, yes.
Yeah.
But you've
It's-
got
it-
that
they-
whole restaurant.
They have
that's
created a plaza by putting a storage, metal
Connex
storage
box.
unit along one wall, and the other wall are shipping crates all nailed together.
Pallet.
Shipping pallets.
Yeah, it's a pallet
Now
fence
there's,
up against
so
the
there's,
Connex box.
there's five tables in that little patio area with 4 seats each. That's
20.
potentially 20 seats.
So, I haven't read your letter yet, Dave, but are we going to have a process, in your opinion, that we would ask the restaurants to provide us with their data before we make assumptions and go count tables incorrectly? And in other words, in a letter that you're talking about right here, could we think of asking them to provide the data for their outdoor seating?
I'd rather hit them with a sledgehammer first, and we tell them what seats we have observed, and therefore how we calculate the charge, and therefore what the difference will be as to how we calculate it. And then the last paragraph is, if we were wrong about any of these assumptions, here's who you call.
Okay, good. You've covered that base. Thank you. Okay, good.
So Mountain Base is the newest. What did they submit when they, to us?
As far as seating,
Yeah, just the indoor.
just the indoor, yeah.
Did they take over where the Asian restaurant was?
No.
No.
They were the old Rite Aid.
Oh, they went in where the Rite Aid was.
So the question is, we simply bill the owner of the plaza. So, but are your records detailed enough that you know how many treatment units are associated with each tenant?
Correct.
They are. Okay.
But the thing is like this year especially, would we really, it's not fair to the owner of the restaurant. He's paying right now still for the user fee for that Asian restaurant, and there's nobody in there. So I can't see.
No, you can't do that, because those are individual units. You can't lump it all into one big, we feel sorry for you because your restaurant is empty. Has he applied for
No,
abatement
no,
on
no.
the Asian restaurant?
No,
Is the water shut off down there, do you know?
I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe you
okay.
should, maybe we could be proactive and send that man a letter and say, look, provided the water is turned off, you're gonna apply for a sewer abatement on your properties.
I didn't know that he could do that.
Well, if the water shut off to
Yeah,
facilitate, to
but-
the.
Did they have individual meters?
I doubt the water's shut off there because, well, it might be
I would
because
think
they
had
had,
individual meters.
Well, what's in the Asian restaurant now?
Just,
Nothing.
it's just a full restaurant.
it's
There's
all
nothing-
like demoed, so they left it a mess.
Well, it's a mess because.
Is it a functioning restaurant?
No.
No.
Okay,
The-
so he has the right to apply for an abatement of his sewer fees if he proves to us that the water's shut off in
The
there.
water probably is shut off to that
Corey?
because the pipes burst this
Yeah.
winter.
Could you call Manchester Water and ask if they send a single bill, or do they have bills for each tenant? Thank you.
I don't think we build tenants, Dave. I think we build the
No, no,
landlord.
We build the
for
landlord.
Manchester Water, I don't know what their practice is.
Well, you see, they also work off of meters. That's how their sewer is probably calculated, off
But
of
once
water
again,
meter.
Corey needs to ask. Yeah.
I don't understand the reasoning, because we have it cut in stone that we don't care who the tenant is. It's the landlord's problem to handle his tenants. And we bill the landlord for the sewer fees, and the landlord collects it from his tenant. So I'm curious as to why Manchester asking about tenant billing is even relevant to this conversation.
But
So
We also-
we developed the treatment units according to the tenants that were in the building at
All
some
right.
point in time.
Okay,
And Corey said that he can pull what the treatment units were for all the tenants.
I see
And so,
what you're saying.
on theory, if half the tenants have their water shut off, then we ought to be respectful that they're no longer sewer customers.
okay. Provided they apply for the
I
abatement.
don't want all of them shut off, but
You're
you're
right.
you're saying perhaps one tenant has the water shut off.
Yeah.
The only thing I worry about sending a letter to them is I'm afraid other people find out, oh, you sent a letter to them.
Well, that's a good point, Lynn.
You know.
They should be responsible.
Yeah,
for doing the
that's
research.
the
All right, well
only,
then let's let that dog sleep. Maybe they watched the movie here tonight and they heard us.
Maybe the whole town has watched us.
Okay. Daniel, did you have something else on that subject? Do we have anything else that's other business? I would ask Corey, do we have an update on our new employee?
Yep. He will be starting July 25th, Monday.
July the 25th, that is in,
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Well, less than 2 weeks, yeah.
Okay.
and he can't start, I spoke to Danielle, he can't come in at 7 that morning and work with Corey and then go see Danielle at 9. He
Whatever.
has to wait and before, he can't start until he actually goes to Danielle and signs all the paperwork and stuff. So his
Awesome.
first hour would be whatever time he meets with Danielle.
So in other words, he can't just report to Corey at
Right,
7 and
not
sit
the
in the
first
pump
day.
station and wait with him? to
That's what
come
she
over?
said. Nope, she said he can't do anything, can't get put on the clock.
Can't be on the
until-
clock.
Until, yeah.
Okay. Well, tell him we're sorry that he has to wait till 9 to start his new job. You'll fix it during the week so he can get his 40 hours, don't worry.
Yeah, if you can do that, because if it was this week, I was thinking, well, the meeting would make up for the difference, but
Well,
it
thanks
didn't
for
work
thinking
out
of that.
that way.
All right. So is it appropriate at this time to announce that we have a new employee, or should we wait until we actually have the employee with us to introduce him?
I would say it's probably appropriate to wait until he's here.
So, in a nutshell, the sewer department has hired a second employee for the duties of working at the pump station and general duties around our facilities, including maintenance and snow plowing and inspection services for customers and for our contractors. And I can't remember the young man's first name. Is Keith? Keith?
Keith Canton.
Canton. So Keith Canton will be beginning employment with the sewer department on July 25th. And personally, I welcome him, and I hope he does well with, and I'm sure he'll be fine. So at this point, we have filled that second position that's been vacant for so long. And he has a probationary period of 6 months. Okay. And technically, if you follow the personnel policy, we're supposed to actually, at 6 months, get a report from Corey on the man's progress, and we're supposed to actually vote to reaffirm his employment at the end of 6 months, or if his employment has been unsatisfactory, we have an opportunity to not complete his employment and discharge him at that point. That's under the personnel policy.
Monday is the 24th. Did you mean starting Monday the 24th?
Oh, I guess it was the 24th, sorry.
Monday, the 24th, thank you. Good. All right, is there any other new business that needs to be discussed tonight? Corey, do you have anything for us?
I do not.
I see that the covers have all been removed on South Mass Street for the milling and such, so we are going to be responsible to pay to have those covers replaced, as usual. And is DPW bringing a contractor in to pay to put those covers back on for us?
Continental is provided, Martinez Brothers.
And then we will reimburse DPW for Continental's costs for
Yep.
Martinez for our sewer covers.
Correct.
Good, I'm glad that's
Same thing
happening.
will happen over on.
At some point down the
Holly
line,
Street.
there'll be
It won't be long.
invoice from DPW
Right.
to.
It won't be long, because they're gonna get right on that, I'm sure, and put that back to road. Is there another project, Corey?
Holly Street in Bernardville, Holly, Eden, they might do, depending on how quick Continental is, they might have them do Laurel Street too, which is the next one down.
It's been milled.
It hasn't been milled yet, they're doing all the drainage work right now.
And theirs are gonna get new sewer cover replacements?
Yeah, everything will get dropped down.
Now, are we
repaved.
putting new sewer covers on at any time, Corey, or are we only replacing old covers?
I only replace them if they're cracked. The old iron goes back on if it's good.
Would you consider it a good investment to put new covers on South Mass Street? Only because covers do get worn out from vehicles driving over them?
I would say yes, but I changed most of them 3 years ago.
Okay. Because I wanted to make sure that if those covers because the wear and tear, they actually wear the frames and the covers get worn and they drop way down
Yep.
in. And they're hard to get back out then sometimes.
Yeah, when we did East Union Street sewer, we went out to South Mass and fixed all the covers that were sunken in, and that was pretty much all of them.
Do we have any problem getting covers?
No.
Okay, EJP or whoever you buy them
Yep,
through?
EJP.
No problem getting them?
Yeah, and I have a stock of the 30-inch covers and frames.
Good, because I want to make sure we have, maybe half a dozen or 12 in stock at all times.
Yeah, I think I have probably 10.
Good.
I need to order 24-inch. The older ones are 24-inch covers.
Okay.
Holly Street will get, pretty much all of Holly Street will be new.
Do you see any advantage to investing in hinged covers?
No.
Okay. Just curious, because that's where I am right now, that's all that the city allows. They have to be all hinged covers for some reason. I think they call it safety.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either.
I know they, like the city of Keene, makes you use hinge covers when you're around any body of water. To keep them.
I'm
Is
just
it
curious.
Nashua that has the triangular covers?
That's the worst design ever,
Why
because
do they have them?
they can fall in.
Well, the triangle.
You can go down into the hole? That's ridiculous.
No.
I did that once in Nashua when I used to work for a surveyor. Popped the thing, it flung up, and it went straight to the bottom. Perfect. That was a nightmare getting it out.
Now, probably a foolish question, but do we own a magnetic cover remover?
We have one, never use it.
Never use it.
It's on a cart. I don't know why.
Just curious,
we
because
go
I
on
saw.
a cart.
Okay, I'm just curious. I know they're ergonomically good for your back.
Yeah, I've been looking at them on Amazon actually,
Well,
because the one we have is actually, it looks like it's like 2 wheelbarrow tires and a big hinge.
So it's just as much work to transport it out to where
Exactly,
it
it's just as
needs.
heavy as the cover.
well, I saw one just recently. Flow Assessment had one down in Portsmouth, and it looked like it's made of aluminum, and it's very long, and they just folded up on itself. It looked very easy to move and very easy to use. And
Yeah.
he used it to take the cover off right in front of me after we spent an hour with a screwdriver and a bar trying to get the cover off. Okay. All right, anything else that's under new business for anyone from this commission at this time?
I'd like to, new discussion, just to help Corey explain our relationships with St. Anselm's College. Before the planning board on the next session, they will announce tearing down a 100-year-old 2-story building
Okay.
and putting up a 3-story building. If this was any other normal residential unit as such, Corey would look at the number of the old treatment units, and now you're doubling the size of the house. Potentially it's a new treatment unit,
Okay.
which would have an accessibility fee. So I asked Corey, how does he, for this particular building, how would he determine what were the old treatment units and the new treatment units? And Corey, you can take over the discussion.
I explained to Dave that it wouldn't change.
What is the
because
building they're tearing down? A dormitory?
Poison Hall.
Poison Hall.
It's an
yeah.
educational building.
Educational building.
Yeah.
So, back when this first started, it's like a year in the making, this project, I actually called Mike Yurgo and asked him this very question. And the agreement that they had was they can only have a certain number of students and staff. That is what was made up for their bill. So by tearing a building down and building a new one, it's not actually adding any people or flow to the system because it stays consistent. It never goes over. They can only have, I think, I might be off on, it might be 1,700 and not 2,800, you know, I could be off. I don't remember what the exact number was. But they can only have a certain number of students, and that's what the bill was based off of.
And we
And it-
know that they don't increase either the student population or the.
I
enrollment?
double checked it.
The planning board application specifically says that there is no student increase due to this educational building being built. So, you know, they were very specific, they perhaps knew what these agreements were. That's why they have it in the planning board application. There's no student increase.
Okay. So continue, Gloria, I'm sorry.
Well, and Dave went in and he was looking at all the other parcels that they owned and came up with a discrepancy of treatment units. Some of the discrepancy could be, I have the number of students off. It could be 1,700, which would make a little bit more sense and closer to the 400 treatment unit mark.
How do we determine that number? Do you have to check with St. A's?
Yeah, I gotta get the number from St. A's. It's on, I think it's on their website.
I could check with Lynn, but I have 19 parcels that are associated with St. Ansgar's College. And you add up all the treatment units that Lynn bills for these 19 parcels, it adds up to a little over 400.
100 treatment units.
Which then, but then if you go back in, you take the student load, multiply it by some gallons per day per student, then you come up with treatment units. They divide by 450, and you come up with treatment units. So there was a, right now, there's a discrepancy between
In which
that.
direction? They're underpaying or overpaying?
When you multiply students by 135 gallons a day, divide by 450, it's on the order of maybe 600 treatment units.
As
But
opposed-
Lynn bills for 400.
All right, well, then we need to look at that, because
Yeah.
if their treatment units need to be increased, then they need to be increased.
Are some of those part-time or commuter students, perhaps?
But they're still in the buildings in the daytime.
These are, they're,
Right, but it's a much lower loading overall.
correct, there's a gallons per day schedule for residential institutions.
Mhm.
And then there's another schedule for day students.
Yeah.
Yes. So maybe, you know, there could have been a combination of those.
Yeah.
The day students are less gallons per day.
Mhm.
Another thing could be too, that the state's table, where you're getting that gallons per day number, that could have changed
Over the last
over the last
50 years.
Exactly, so
Yeah.
that's probably something to look into
It
as
has
well.
changed.
Well, when you have your helper here, and you've got him trained to where you can breathe a little bit, that's something you could look into it on our behalf.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, good. All right, anything else under new business?
I just have one comment.
Mike, please.
Going back to the sewer user charges, I would say that pretty much all, or most anyway, of the surrounding communities have increased their sewer user charges, but a number of communities, I mean Allenstown being one, have recently implemented a fixed fee portion. So they get, depending on the type of customer, residential, commercial, industrial, etc., they have a fixed fee that they charge monthly over and above the usage charge
Is it
in
like
order
a,
to ensure there's a certain amount of revenue that's generated. and Manchester
is
has
it
it.
something like a surcharge?
No, it's just a fixed fee charge.
And how do they justify the fixed fee? Based
Well,
on their,
because they've got
based on their
fixed-
finances?
fixed costs they have to cover regardless of what, the demand is. They have to cover certain fixed costs. And
Fixed costs of things
Manchester
like
has-
electricity and, our monthly payments to
Staff.
Manchester for treatment,
Yeah.
for the treatment of our wastewater.
Yeah.
So
Staff.
the user fee perhaps doesn't bring in enough revenue, so they're spreading the shortfall by some scheme.
Not necessarily a shortfall, but they just want to...
Planning for the future, maybe?
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, that's part of it.
But they own their own wastewater treatment plant, so I'm sure they have a lot of capital expense that they have to incur, even though we're a stakeholder in Manchester, don't, you know, not that we're flying for free,
Yeah.
but we're not the owner of the wastewater treatment plant either.
No, but you also have certain fixed costs that you need to cover as well. So it's, I just throw that out there for consideration.
Did they do a study and decide that a fixed cost methodology was better than a user fee increase?
Well, it's both. Well, it's both. They increased the user charges
And-
some incremental amount, but also implemented these fixed fee charges.
Okay. I'd be interested to see how they describe the fixed fee charges to their customers. So if there's language you could get for us
Mhm.
that describes how they explain to their customers how the fixed fees were, why the fixed fees are being charged and how they are being applied would be interesting information.
Sure.
Thanks. Okay.
You didn't do the minutes, right?
We did not do the minutes
No,
because
that's
we were
right.
waiting for Daniel. Thank you for
Yeah.
remembering, Dave.
Yeah, I would have forgotten that.
So we didn't do the
I make a
minutes.
motion that we approve June 13th minutes as presented to us.
I'll second the motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Excuse me. All those in favor of approving the minutes as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. A one-motion meeting, Dave, other than the adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
You get them both.
Second.
Motion has been made to adjourn. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, GTV.